Jay-Z and Beyoncé have a 12-year age gap, and they met when Beyoncé was really young. Now, it seems like the couple can't make up their minds about how old she was when they met. Not to mention, whenever Jay-Z is asked about the first time meeting, he gets extremely nervous. Now, Jay-Z has a history of going for younger girls, so it really has people wondering if they're lying about when they met to make Jay look less creepy. Not to mention that he's very possessive over her.
About to go to sleep. So, I'm in Ethiopia.
In 2003, Beyoncé released the song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul. It was a huge song but was only performed live 3 times. That year, Jay-Z reportedly banned Sean Paul from performing the song with Beyoncé at the VMAs. Beyoncé performed it, but Sean was in the crowd. Now, Beyoncé and Sean didn't even film the music video together, as it's been reported that Jay-Z didn't want other men around her. Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened, as in an interview, Bun B, who worked with Beyoncé on Check On It, revealed that Jay-Z called during the video shoot and told all the men to leave the set. Now, it just seems like he's really controlling of her, which is not a good thing at all. Now, of course, we have to talk about the elevator incident. At the 2014 Met Gala, a fight broke out between Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's sister, and Jay-Z, while the 3 of them were in an elevator. Now, the footage leaked and Beyoncé just stood there the whole time, and honestly, it was kind of funny. Now, after it was leaked, the family put out a statement saying Jay and Solange each assume their share of responsibility for what has occurred, the May 2014 statement read. They both acknowledge their role in this private matter that has played out in the public, they both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. At the end of the day, families have problems, and we're no different. We love each other, and above all, we are family. We've put this behind us and hope everyone else will do the same. But it was rumored that Solange attacked him because of cheating rumors. Now, these were just rumors until Beyoncé released her album Lemonade in 2016. So Beyoncé dropped a full album, Lemonade, complete with an entire film of visuals, on April 23, 2016. Now, on the album, she essentially confirmed that Jay-Z cheated on her, opening with the lyric, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," and at other points, she simply asks, "Are you cheating on me?" After the release of Lemonade, Beyoncé made several public appearances solo, including the Met Gala and the VMAs, where she performed a medley from Lemonade, though she did meet up with Jay-Z at the after party. Now, one of the most shocking lyrics from her album, though, was "He only want me when I'm not there, he better call Becky with the good hair." Now, this prompted fans to look for this so-called Becky. Now, fashion designer Rachel Roy has been thought of as the #1 person to be the woman Jay-Z had an affair with. Now, nothing has ever been confirmed, but looking at all the evidence, it is very plausible. Now, Rachel has a long history with Jay-Z's business enterprise, Rocawear, so the timing and opportunity would align. Now, when Beyoncé released her album Lemonade, she finally confirmed that Jay-Z cheated on her, and she said it was the Becky with the good hair. Now, that same day, Rachel posted on Instagram with the caption, "Good hair, don't care, but we'll take good lighting for selfies or self-truths always, live in the light, hashtag no drama queens." Now, this upset a lot of people, and her comments were flooded with hate. Now, she eventually made her account private and eventually did delete the post. Now, Rachel made a cryptic post days before Cowboy Carter, Beyoncé's recent album, was released. In an Instagram post, Rachel posted a quote by Albert Einstein, "Stay away from negative people, they have a problem for every solution." Now, the phrase "good hair" has re-emerged though after Beyoncé released Cowboy Carter. "Hey Miss Honeybee, it's Dolly P," country legend Dolly Parton says in an interlude called Dolly P, which led into a reimagined cover of Jolene. "You know that hussy with the good hair you sing about? Reminded me of someone I knew back when, except she has flaming locks of auburn hair, bless her heart, just a hair of a different color, but it hurts just the same." So, is Rachel so-called Becky? A lot of people think so. Then, in 2017, Jay-Z admitted to cheating on Beyoncé, he just didn't say with who. He told the New York Times Teen magazine, "You know, most people walk away, like the divorce rate is like 50% or something because most people can't see themselves," he said. "The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused, and then you have to deal with yourself. So you know, most people don't want to do that, you don't want to look inside yourself, and so you walk away." Now, the couple eventually worked through everything and are still together today. But with breaking news of Jay-Z committing crimes with his friend Diddy, will Beyonce stand by him? Earlier this month, Jay-Z and Diddy were named as defendants in a civil lawsuit that accused them of taking advantage of a girl who identified as Jane Doe, who claimed that the incident happened at an MTV Video Music Awards after party in the year 2000. When the lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, only Diddy was listed as defendant. It listed a male and female celebrity, but the names were not revealed. It was then refiled by Texas-based attorney Tony Busby on December 8th to include Jay-Z. Now, in addition to denying the accusations, Jay-Z has since asked the court to dismiss Jane Doe's civil lawsuit for lack of subject matter jurisdiction due to the plaintiff's lack of standing. Now, Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro is setting the record straight on his client's relationship with Diddy though. Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, he told Us Weekly and other reporters during a roundtable with press on Monday, December 16th at Roc Nation's New York City offices. Just like in all professions, people know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's how professions work. There's no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. Now, he also gave a presentation with slides detailing alleged holes in the accuser's story. It's obvious to everyone that Mr. Carter did not do this, Alex said. Obviously, Jay-Z did not do this, but what I want to do today is just sort of walk you through some of this so that you can see the truth and you can see what happened yourselves. You can see here now that this is starting to unravel and the truth is coming out, he alleged, adding that the lawsuit attacks a man with the integrity of Mr. Carter. Now, days after refiling the lawsuit, Jay-Z attended the movie premiere of Mustafa, The Lion King, which his wife and daughter have roles in. Now, this shocked a lot of people that he was out in public already. Sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appeared to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Beyoncé forced Jay-Z to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com. They are working with a crisis specialist who is advising them on how to handle this. Beyoncé believes the best way is to face it head on, and that's what they did. Disney, though, had other feelings, as an insider revealed that there was hesitation on the Disney side regarding the best way to handle it given the events from the lawsuit. But at the end of the day, it was Beyoncé's call and she wanted to support her husband. So, what will end up happening to these two? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's past is back to haunt them. Resurfaced red flags expose them like never before. Jay-Z and Diddy were once referred to as hip-hop royalty to this day, and despite all the controversies, many still give them that title. The rappers both rose to fame in the 90s and have maintained a very close friendship over the years. After both beating jail time in 1999 for their involvement in separate crimes, the duo are now facing more legal allegations. In 2024, a woman accused the rap legends of essaying her at a house party in 2000 when she was just a young woman. Now, both Combs and Jay have denied the allegations, but was the 1999 incident just a big red flag for worse to come? In December of 1999, Jay was arrested and charged with attacking Lance Riviera during a heated argument in a Manhattan nightclub. Lance is a record producer and music executive who began his musical career when he met neighborhood rapper Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls. After hearing Biggie perform, Rivera offered to finance his musical career, and that opened the door to more connections in the industry. Jay-Z turned himself into the police for the incident and was placed under arrest before being released on $50,000 bail. Jay initially pleaded not guilty, but later copped out to third-degree battery in exchange for 3 years probation. In his 2010 book, Decoded, Jay spoke about the incident, admitting that he angrily approached Rivera but wasn't responsible for the attack. Now, fast forward to May 2023, Rivera said Jay was not the one who attacked him, telling DJ Vlad, "I don't know where people got Jay-Z attacked me from, because if anybody knows Jay-Z, Jay-Z's a nice guy." He went on to say, "I ended up getting surrounded by a bunch of people. It was probably like 10 weapons that I knew of, and I ended up getting hurt." Rivera confirmed that Jay-Z was there and that they had had a conversation right before he got hit in the head with a champagne bottle. Now, many fans have speculated whether Jay was really responsible or if Rivera lied back then or is maybe lying now. Now, one friend at the party, Chris Scotti, he said that he thought Jay punched Rivera and was actually shocked to see it. However, many people think that Rivera is getting paid now to to say Jay actually never did it, and that saying things like Jay is a really nice guy is a way to help Jay's image right now since it's been quite damaged recently. So some people have even speculated that Jay's paid Rivera to say these things now. Rivera has said for the record that everyone who was there has a different story on what actually happened, but only me and Jay know what really went on. To me, that kind of leaves things unanswered. Like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't feel you though. Something is off, right? Now, fast forwarding back again to October 2024, going as Jane Doe, the woman previously mentioned, filed a lawsuit accusing Combs and an unnamed male celebrity of essaying her at a party. Now, 2 months later, the plaintiff amended the suit to include Jay-Z's name as the male celebrity who also essayed her. According to the revised lawsuit, the woman alleged that she began to feel lightheaded after consuming a drink at the party and went to lie down in a bedroom. Shortly after, the plaintiff claimed both Diddy and Jay entered the room and allegedly began to remove her clothing and held her down, while Combs allegedly essayed her as an unidentified female celebrity watched. Now, Jay aggressively denied the allegations he described as heinous, and on December 8th, 2024, writing a statement that the victim's attorney, Tony Busby, was trying to blackmail him with the lawsuit. This lawsuit has definitely brought up Jay's past lawsuit, and many people online have said we should have taken the first one as a red flag for more to come. Did you know Beyonce fired her father as her manager? Well, if you didn't, now you do. Beyonce is a diva, no doubt, and a lot of choices she's made has been questionable to say the least, but some have raised some alarm bells because many critics have looked at them as red flags, this one being no exception. Beyonce fired her father, Matthew Knowles, as her manager back in 2011. Now, Beyonce's father has overseen her career since she first auditioned for gigs as a kid and a teenager. Now, while the singles mother Tina was her stylist, Matthew managed his daughter's whole solo career in years, and as a member of her R&B group Destiny's Child, he even actually started the original girls group, which he named Girls Time, when she was just 8 years old. Now, Beyonce explained her decision at the time, saying that she was only ending their business relationship and that she still loved and was grateful to him. She said, "I grew up watching both he and my mother manage and own their own businesses. They were hardworking entrepreneurs, and I will continue to follow in their footsteps." Her father was accused, though, of stealing money from Beyonce by Live Nation, which was revealed in court documents in 2011. Now, these allegations prompted her legal team to conduct an audit in October of 2010, which apparently concluded Knowles had taken funds. Knowles denied the allegations and has requested a judge to ask Live Nation the rationale for its claim. The 60-year-old has suggested that promoter was trying to win a larger share of Beyonce's tour revenue. Knowles said he was replaced with a former Live Nation executive. Live Nation have reportedly declined to comment on the issue, and he denied the accusations, and he actually took his daughter's former concert promoter to court, claiming Live Nation soured his relationship with Beyonce by making false statements about him. Matthew insisted this was just a business decision and unrelated to the family drama. He went on to say, "We mutually agreed to part ways in terms of me managing Beyonce, as my focus is in the investment of Music World's Entertainment's growing gospel and inspirational music division. Because of the success of these artists, my focus has to be on gospel now." Beyonce's relationship with her father is also explored in her 2016 album Lemonade. In the section titled Accountability, Beyonce questions potential power struggles she may have had with her father. She also has a song called Daddy Lessons on the album, in which she sings about being taught how to be hardworking, or a hardworking young woman. Now, this whole incident caused many fans at the time to question the whole thing and wondered if this was a bad sign of Beyonce being too controlling, and it was labeled as a red flag, with one person saying, "Firing your father who has helped you skyrocket to stardom over accusations of theft is the biggest red flag I've ever seen in a long time. What would he need to steal for?" With another person saying, "Beyonce is an adult now and has had her father's opinions, and she has her own opinions now and the way she wants to do things. Her dad has always been controlling. This was a smart decision." Now, their relationship has been complicated, and he hasn't always been, perfect dad, father of the year, so many people have interpreted this in many different ways. But what are your guys' thoughts though? Beyonce's Ivy Park fashion line allegedly is produced in a sweatshop. This is a huge red flag because, well, unless you're unaware of how sweatshops operate, they're deeply inhumane and their practices are disgusting. Beyonce's much-hyped surprise collaboration with British clothing giant Topshop made headlines around the world when it launched. Topshop's website crashed as people rushed to purchase premium athleisure with prices starting at $14 for sweatbands and going all the way up to $265 for a full-length color block bodysuit. Now, the clothing line was supposed to be a way to push a feel-good woman empowerment ethos and to de-emphasize perfectionism and to value strength over beauty, but the backlash was inevitable. A British tabloid newspaper named The Sun ran an expose describing the Sri Lankan garment workers making the range as sweatshop slaves, earning just 64 cents an hour. Now, reporters visited the site and one sewing machine operator said that she was unable to survive on her basic wage of 18,500 rupees a month, which is about $126. The newspaper claimed average seamstresses earn about $7 a day and acknowledged that workers at the factory were still being paid above the legal minimum wage of 13,500 rupees a month. But what is being described by The Sun is that it looks like a severe case of exploitation bordering on slavery. The reporter highlighted particular concerns, including low pay and limits on the women's movements at night by locking them into their accommodation. Like, the workers reside on site and are subject to curfews, which is odd. A spokesperson for Ivy Park said, "Ivy Park has a rigorous ethical trading program. We are proud of our sustained efforts in terms of factory inspections and audits, and our teams worldwide work very closely with our suppliers and their factories to ensure compliance. We expect our suppliers to meet our code of conduct and we support them in achieving these requirements." Beyonce hasn't directly spoken out, of course, about all of this, and it's caused a lot of concern from her fans. We are in 2024, girl. Time to start paying people better, am I right? A big red flag that has been brought up many times from Jay-Z and Beyonce's past is their big age gap. When we think of Hollywood power couples, we think of Jay-Z and Beyonce. In fact, the two have been together for so long at this point, it's like hard to remember a time they weren't. This leads to the question, though, of how long the two have actually been together and when exactly they started dating. Now, the current age difference between the two now would actually not raise any red flags because she's 43 and he's 55, but the red flag was drawn years ago when the two met when Beyonce was just 18, which was probably somewhere between 1999 and 2000. Now, Jay-Z was 30 at the time, but Beyonce has spoken before about how the two stayed friends for a while before things turned romantic. She said in an interview with Oprah, "We were friends first for a year and a half before we went on any dates, and though the two would go on to marry, they actually waited until 2008. Not just because of their 12-year age difference, but because, according to Beyonce, she told 17 magazine at the time, "I really don't believe that you will love the same thing at 20 as you do 30. So that was my rule. Before the age of 25, I would never get married. I feel like you have to get to know yourself, know what you want, spend some time by yourself, and be proud of who you are before you can share that with someone else." The power couple quickly began working together professionally, starting with Jay-Z's 2002 track Bonnie and Clyde, followed by Beyonce's smash hit Crazy in Love. As suggested by the song title, it was inspired by Beyonce's deep affection for Jay-Z. Their personal lives often influenced their music, becoming a reoccurring theme throughout their relationship. Now, however, they managed to keep their 2008 wedding ceremony completely private. Many fans have said they feel bad that Beyonce wasn't given a chance to date around and explore her options because she likely felt pressured into being with Jay, and because that's all she knows, that's why she stayed. Fans today have said that back in the day, age gaps were not talked about enough because they were so normalized, like not only in Hollywood, but also just in society. And the reality, which might shock a lot of y'all, is that the age gap between Beyonce and Jay-Z is the same age gap between Mr. Kelly and Aaliyah. But no one wants to talk about that, and we won't get into how Jay-Z was initially going after Aaliyah. That's a story for another time. Now, the inconsistencies around the actual numbers have always been a hot topic, though, because in 2007, in an interview with Charlie Rose, Jay-Z said he met Beyonce 10 years ago, which would have meant 1997. But Beyonce said she was 18 when they first met and 19 when they first started dating. Beyonce was born September 4th, 1981, so this would actually put their first encounter in late 1999 or early 2000s. Now, many fans have come out and said that Jay and Bey are definitely lying, and she was definitely underage when he was first pursuing her, and they've been doing nothing but lying about it for years to protect their images. Many fans have said she was groomed, and in a popular video that's been watched millions of times, you see Beyonce standing next to Jay saying, "You taught me how to be a woman, you taught me me how to be a leader. You taught me how to be a friend. You've given me so much in life. Many people said that he should not have taught you how to be a woman, and that video was like giving predatory vibes. Beyonce's rise to fame began at a young age. We all remember her hit R&B group Destiny's Child that her father and ex-manager Matthew Knowles created back in the 90s that skyrocketed Beyonce into stardom. So who would have thought that with her wide range of exceptional vocal talents that she would ever be caught lip syncing, right? I certainly didn't, and I know millions of others didn't. So that's exactly what happened though, and not only did it happen, but it happened at President Barack Obama's second inauguration in 2013. Beyonce was invited to perform the national anthem, being the Star-Spangled Banner, which would be watched by millions of people around the world, no biggie. Now, many assumed at first, of course, that she was in fact singing live. However, it was later revealed that Beyonce had lip-synced the entire performance, actually singing along to the pre-recorded track of the anthem. Now, the news sparked a heated debate, with some critics accusing Beyonce of being dishonest and lacking integrity, while others defended her, saying that the cold weather and technical issues made it necessary to use a pre-recorded track. Now, according to the Marine Corps band, the decision to use a pre-recorded track was actually made like minutes before the performance. Beyonce also said that she had sung along to the track to ensure that the performance was flawless. Now, when she admitted that she had lip-synced, the singer said she's a perfectionist and wanted her performance for Barack Obama to be a memorable one. Now, she called the day emotional, and she went on to say, "I practiced until my feet bleed, and I did not have time to rehearse with the orchestra. Due to no proper sound check, I did not feel comfortable taking a risk. It was about the president and the inauguration, and I wanted to make him and my country proud. So I decided to sing along with my pre-recorded track," which is very common in the music industry, and I'm very proud of my performance. So, I mean, to be fair, and to her defense, the Star-Spangled Banner is notoriously difficult piece to sing. It spans such a huge vocal range, and it was also bitterly cold that day in Washington. So the combination of nerves and the cold may have influenced Beyonce's decision to rely on the pre-recorded track. We will forgive you, B, but we won't forget it. Moving on now, Beyonce has been called out many times for sampling songs throughout her career without actually getting permission first. One of the most notable cases is the song Ring the Alarm from her 2006 album B-Day. The song's chorus bears a striking resemblance to the 1995 song Get Me Bodied by Rare Essence, and also samples elements from the 97 song La Di Da Di by Doug E. Fresh and Slick Rick. In 2010, Beyonce was actually sued by songwriter Jennifer Armour, who claimed that Beyonce's song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul infringed on her own song Love Theme, which was written in 97. Now, another notable one was Beyonce's song Run the World. She was accused of sampling the song Pon de Floor by Major Lazer without properly clearing the sample. But nothing almost ruined her career more than when she sampled the Challenger explosion in her song XO. Begins with audio of NASA's former public affairs officer Steve Nesbitt referring to a major malfunction involving the Challenger space shuttle, which actually exploded just a minute after its launch. NASA said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter at the time, "The Challenger accident is an important part of our history, a tragic reminder that space exploration is risky and should never be trivialized." Now, in a statement to ABC News in December of 2013, Beyonce explained that she intended for the audio to be a tribute to those who passed away aboard the Challenger. She said at the time, "My heart goes out to the families of those lost in the Challenger disaster. The song XO was recorded with the sincerest intention to help heal those who have lost loved ones and to remind us that unexpected things happen. So love and appreciate every minute that you have with those who mean the most to you." The songwriters included in the audio in tribute to the unselfish work of the Challenger crew, with hope that they will never be forgotten. Many critics didn't accept her apology or statement, and many just believed she was being tone deaf and inconsiderate, with one person online saying, "This is not how you honor the crew members. Nobody asked asked for this," with another person saying, "This is so random and came out of nowhere. She hasn't once spoken about the Challenger incident. She's definitely lying about her intentions." NASA astronauts, employees, and the families of the Challenger astronauts were extremely upset that she used this audio and didn't think it was a well thought out idea. June Scobie Rogers, the widow of Challenger Space Shuttle Commander Dick Scobie, told ABC News at the time, "We were disappointed to learn that an audio clip from the day we lost a heroic Challenger crew was used in the song XO. The moment included in this song is an emotionally difficult one for the Challenger families, colleagues, and friends. We have always chosen to focus not on how our loved ones were lost, but rather on how they lived and how their legacy lives on today." A former NASA employee, Keith Cowing, said, "This choice of historic and solemn audio is inappropriate in the extreme. The choice is little different than taking Walter Cronkite's words to viewers announcing the passing of President Kennedy or 911 calls from attacks and using them for shock value in a pop tune." Beyonce has never spoken out about this since, and because it caused such a media frenzy, people were not only upset about it, of course, but also ready to cancel her completely. It gave a vibe that she was using tragedy to sell records. Next up, we have Bumpgate. When Beyonce was pregnant with daughter Blue Ivy Carter, who will someday likely take over the world, rumors began spreading that 1, she faked her pregnancy with a prosthetic belly, and 2, had enlisted a surrogate to carry the child. A video that went absolutely viral overnight caused such chaos. The rumor mill went into overdrive when a video of Beyonce's high-definition interview with Australian's Sunday Night HD surfaced online, and honestly, it would have been a rather forgettable chat were it not for one moment at the start of the sit-down when a very pregnant Beyonce took a seat and her bump, well, took a break. When she sits down, you can actually see her stomach deflating, crumpling, and folding in on itself, however you want to describe it. Stills and slow-mos of the seemingly disappearing bumps circulated by the dozens, and conspiracy theories around as to the curious behavior of her baby bump. Was Beyonce wearing different size bellies to throw off the press as to how far along she was? Had she and Jay-Z gone the circuit route and her seemingly deflating baby bump proved it, or was it something else entirely? Beyonce's publicist Yvette Noel Schur was quick to shut down the conspiracy theories of the masses, telling E! News that sites and rumors suggesting that Jay-Z's better half is wearing a prosthetic or otherwise faking her baby bump are foolish. Beyonce addressed it only once, saying, "That was crazy. It wasn't hurtful. It was just crazy. Where did they come up with this?" Now, Wendy Williams discussed the incident on her talk show and actually had 2 of her staff members who were pregnant at the time, with one of them being due like the same month as Beyonce, sit down in very similar dresses to see if their belly, or I guess fabric, folded in the same way. Both did not, and so that also drew a lot of attention and caused many other people to believe the fake pregnancy rumor. Now, one fan online pointed out that Beyonce has been so secretive about her pregnancy, and that the only footage of her being pregnant was grainy and not clear, and some fans did come to her defense, saying that there was actually a pic of her on the beach in a bikini, but Wendy Williams very clearly pointed out that that photo of her standing in her bikini anyone could replicate if you just stand and push your stomach out enough. Now, some conspiracy theories Wendy talks about is that 1, the baby was to help her depleting music career at the time. Theory number 2, that the baby was to keep Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Theory number 3, the alleged woman in Trinidad with Jay-Z's son was intimidating to Beyonce, and Beyonce was basically trying to keep up with her. Theory 4, she was going to use a surrogate to maintain her body and not put it under stress. And theory 5, they're adopting, but wanted to play it off like she gave birth. Now, Wendy even predicted it would be an at-home water birth. However, we now know that that didn't happen, as Blue Ivy was born at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, New York on January 7th, 2012. So there's a popular theory circulating online that Beyonce has a clause in her contracts or agreements with other artists that require them to publicly thank or acknowledge her during their performances or acceptance speeches. However, there's no concrete evidence to support this claim. But let me dig into this and then you decide for yourself. There have been several instances that have contributed to this speculation. The craziest one for me is Adele. So during the 59th annual Grammy Awards in 2017, Adele won the award for Album of the Year for 25. In her speech though, she thanked Beyonce, saying, "I can't possibly accept this award, and I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful and gracious, but my artist of my life is Beyonce. And this album to me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental and so well thought out and so beautiful and so soul-bearing. And we all got to see another side to you that you don't always let us see, and we appreciate that. And us artists here adore you. You are our light. And the way you make me and my friends feel, the way you make us stand, and the way you make us want to do better. I love you. I always have, and I always will. Her heartfelt tribute to Beyonce sparked a standing ovation and praise from the audience. And while many's interpreted it as a strong gesture of admiration, respect, and solidarity, many thought it was just strange and frankly too much. Get this though, it gets like astronomically weirder because she then went on and broke her Grammy in half to give to Beyonce, like the other half, like a real Mean Girls crown moment. Like dedicating your whole speech to someone else is already nasty work, but like breaking your Grammy, at that point, girl, just go ask her to be your mom. And did, because she actually also said at the end of her speech that she wants Beyonce to be her mom. Moving on, so at the 2023 Grammy Awards, Lizzo took home Record of the Year for About Damn Time and was met with massive applause from the crowd. During her acceptance speech, she went on to address Beyonce. She said her sister helped her get out of literature class in the 5th grade to go see Beyonce perform. She followed it by saying, and she sang that gospel medley, and the way she made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music, so thank you so much. You clearly are the artist of our lives. Beyonce seemingly was brought to tears and the crowd to their feet cheering, but this wasn't as intense as Adele, but still, nonetheless, it fed into the theories that Beyonce forced her to do this. At this point, I'm ready to say thanks to Beyonce myself. Although this next incident is a little different, it's still so absurd and has been talked about millions of times throughout the years, so I want to touch on it briefly. Yes, the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards incident between Kanye West and Taylor Swift. In case you've been living under a rock, allow me to quickly give you some context. So West storms on stage and interrupted Swift's acceptance speech for You Belong With Me by taking the microphone out of her hand and saying, yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. This incident is considered to literally be one of pop culture's biggest moments in history. But the theories around it years later are very interesting. A viral TikTok conspiracy theory suggests that Kanye stopped Taylor from being influenced by Diddy, but there's no proof to that, of course, but many think also it was just Kanye being Kanye, but some think Kanye's interruption was intended to protect Swift from being involved with Diddy. He was apparently trying to create a rift between Beyonce and Swift, as she had close ties with Diddy at the time. Now, many TikTok users believe West knew about Diddy's allegations of preying on younger artists and wanted to keep Taylor Swift away from him and Beyonce's influence. One Twitter, or X user, attempted to explain the theory and wrote, "This Diddy thing is making people go insane. The conspiracy theories got me weak. They saying Beyonce was gonna unalive Taylor Swift, so Kanye saved her when he interrupted her on stage. But hey, I've never seen so many positive Kanye comments in a while, so a win is a win." Another user wrote, "Now I see it. He's not angry at Taylor, he's stressed. You people, listen now, search up how many artists were saying that stuff for Beyonce." And because Kanye knew what was going on, he said it to protect her just in case. And that wax figure, it was all for publicity to make up beef so the true dark reason won't see the light. Of course, there's absolutely no proof that supports these claims, but it is food for thought, right? The most recent viral thanking of Beyonce incident happened at the People's Choice Country Awards, where Shabuzi, who's known for his hit song titled A Bar Song, which by the way skyrocketed to the Billboard Hot 100, making a milestone for the artist who is actually known for blending country and hip hop. When he accepted his award for Best New Artist of 2024, during his speech, he went on to thank several people, but upon concluding it, he said, and I quote, "Thanks for you, the Empire, for being the best independent label partner any artist could ask for. And thank you, Beyonce, you're amazing." His lack of elaboration left some fans wondering why he said it at all. The simple "you're amazing" leaves so much to discuss. How is she amazing? What has she done for you? Why are you thanking her? He really made it so short that it was the perfect potion to add to the cauldron of TikTokers believing that these celebs are forced to thank her, and one person even said it's like he gave that whole speech, remember last minute that he has to thank Beyonce or else. Thanked her quickly to save face and then walked off stage. And the scary part about all these people thanking Beyonce is when they do, they look like they're terrified. And what these TikTokers are saying is that Beyonce wields so much power that anyone who kind of treads on her turf is seen as a threat, and they've either got to bow down or they must be eliminated. Basically everyone who accepts an award, whether they're up against Beyonce or not. Now, weirdly though, everybody has been thanking Beyonce over the years when they're not even associated with her. Some fans said, well, is there any evidence pointing to the people being unalive due to not bowing down to Beyonce? Someone actually pointed out that one person who didn't thank Beyonce when she won a Grammy was Amy Winehouse. And yikes, like she passed away the very next year. Also, Aaliyah also passed when she was entering the scene around the same time as Beyonce, and both were almost neck and neck when it comes to being the most up-and-coming star. Many think she falls victim, and to be quite honest with you, Aaliyah was actually more popular than her and on a trajectory to being the bigger star. Aaliyah was the princess of pop, but Beyonce wanted to be queen. Many say if Aaliyah hadn't passed away, Beyonce would be nothing today. Well, maybe not nothing, but like definitely not as big as she is now. And let me give you some chills real quick. What's really creepy is that it was alleged at the time that Jay-Z was involved, or at least wanted to be involved with Aaliyah intimately. But Aaliyah was actually dating Jay-Z's friend Damon Dash, who, by the way, would go on to say that Jay-Z is a deceitful man. Now, on the fateful day of Aaliyah's passing, Aaliyah actually called Damon Dash and said she didn't feel good, something was off, and her intuition was telling her not to get on the plane. And apparently, Dash told her, you know you have to. Apparently, and also according to a book written by Kathy Landoli titled Baby Girl, sources said Aaliyah apparently was given a sleeping pill and carried onto the plane like unconscious before the fatal crash even happened. But what's wild is that Aaliyah was super hesitant to get on and even knew the plane was over limit and knew the plane would struggle to handle 8 passengers with her bodyguard who weighed alone over 300 pounds. She continued to protest, and that's when she was given the pill to basically calm down. So let that run a chill down your spine. It's crazy to think that so many people who have passed on had some sort of tie to Beyonce and Jay-Z, but also that so many people to this day continue to fear Beyonce and her power.
We were warned that big name celebrities were going to be called out over the course of Diddy's trial, and it seems that started with Jay-Z being named in a suit. It was originally filed back in November, but at the time it was just Sean Combs, aka Diddy, that was named. The others were simply referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman that has filed the suit has requested that she remain anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe during the proceedings. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity harmed Jane Doe inappropriately, while another, also unnamed, female celebrity watched. The plaintiff's story in the lawsuit was she attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall in 2000 for the MTV VMAs, but when she was unsuccessful, she ran into Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff further claims that upon entering the home, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement and asked to sign. Once inside, she claims there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were in there too. In a bid to find somewhere safe to rest, the plaintiff claims she entered an empty bedroom, and it wasn't long after she entered that the trio of celebrities allegedly followed. It was then that the multiple transgressions happened, ultimately halting when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck. She was able to eventually escape the house and return home, but the night left its mark. As reported by the Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy continues to assert his innocence. The Daily Mail obtained photos from this night that included music artist Jay-Z, who is now officially named in this suit. I recently covered this lawsuit in another video back in November. Leaked Diddy party photos of Jennifer Lopez will change everything. At the time, the lawsuit only named Sean Diddy Combs. The other parties were simply unnamed celebrities. That has obviously changed. Jay-Z's name has been revealed. However, we still don't know who the female celebrity was. There are 1001 theories, of course, because that's what the internet does, but we still don't know for sure. So to clarify, just because I mentioned J-Lo a second ago, she was not named in the suit. That is the focus of this video. However, with the knowledge that we are still missing one piece of the puzzle, and that originally Jay-Z was unnamed, it begs a couple of big questions. questions. Why did she only name Diddy originally and wait to release Jay-Z's name, and why hasn't the female celebrity's name been released either? Only Jane Doe and her legal team know for sure. However, Jay-Z has given us some clues on his end. He claims that before his name was added to the mix, his lawyer received a letter about the suit. Allegedly, the letter was intended to blackmail him. It was described as a pre-litigation demand letter. The rapper claimed that he was asked for money, but Jane Doe's legal representation, Tony Busby, claimed that she asked for mediation and never sought financial gain. Busby did respond to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. This time, he accused Jay-Z of conspiracy of harassment, bullying, intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. So from all that, it's looking like Jay-Z's name was initially kept in the dark because they were trying to work things out behind closed doors, but everything went sour, and that's why it's all in the open now. Other than the female celebrity's name, of course. There is a possibility we'll never know who it was. In the event that the same stages were taken with celebrity B as they were with celebrity A, there is a chance everything was settled behind closed doors, and we will forever be left to wonder. The suit did say that the female celebrity didn't actually do anything to the plaintiff, she just watched, but that's also not great. The original lawsuit was filed back in October. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have sent a letter to Combs' lawyer in advance like how they did to Jay-Z's, or if they simply would have just filed the suit, considering there were already so many against Diddy already. Jay-Z is adamantly denying pretty much everything the suit is accusing him of. He has shared that the allegations are causing strain in his personal and family life, as his daughter, Blue Ivy, is old enough to likely hear this information, and she's almost the age the woman in the suit was when the incident happened. Jay-Z is now calling for a name to be revealed, and it's Jane Doe's. She has wanted to remain anonymous since the filing of the suit. However, Jay-Z wants to know who is accusing him. Jay-Z claims that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney called the whole situation a shakedown and said that if Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a Monday filing, Jay-Z and his legal team have called for a judge to order that Jane Doe either reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. However, Jane Doe likely has a good reason to keep her name under wraps. Tony Busby spoke on behalf of her and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm represents, and explained why it's so important for them to be anonymous. He claimed that about 80% of those that he is representing during this Diddy case have told the firm that Diddy has warned them to keep quiet or something bad would happen to them and or their loved ones. Who knows if he meant it, but better safe than sorry. Keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that you don't get hounded by the press day in and day out. Famous and rich rapper Jay-Z can afford security. We don't know what Jane Doe's lifestyle looks like or if it would be safe for her in that sense. Busby spoke to a federal judge Sunday, during which he stressed the importance of his client remaining anonymous for protection's sake. Jay-Z did release a statement in which he accused Jane Doe's representation, Busby, of exploiting people for personal gain. He called the claims against him idiotic, and if there weren't young people involved, laughable. But somehow, this all gets even more dramatic. Busby shared that he actually expected Jay-Z to attempt to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right, which will probably be soon. But he also dropped another bombshell claim just to shake things up. Apparently, Busby was sued in November by an unnamed celebrity. We know it was a man because they sued under the name John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. Of course, this is all alleged, as Busby doesn't even know who it was, so I certainly won't pretend to know for sure either. Busby did relate this case to the one making the headlines now, saying, "He sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim." Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making public appearances. He was spotted on a red carpet shortly after the news broke of the incident from the early 2000s. The red carpet in question was Disney's Mufasa. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that is why he was there to support his family. It is his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should not have gone, or at least stayed off the red carpet, that maybe he should have sat this one out. One ex-user said that the rapper had nerve showing up like that, another agreeing with the response, "No shame." Another popular rapper is even lending his keyboard to the drama. 50 Cent has been closely following the Diddy allegations and case and commenting at every chance he gets. Having Jay-Z roped into it all now, it was only a matter of time before a post hit Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but of course, there are screenshots. He posted a picture of the family on the red carpet with a caption directly referencing the allegations against Jay-Z. It basically said, "Oh, I got accused of this really awful thing, time to go to the movies." That's like a very PG translation of the actual caption. Truly, it seems the public loves 50 Cent for keeping it real and never shying away from throwing in his 2 cents, or should I say 50, a bad joke for me, but he does have a lot to say at all times. One ex-user even said that at this point, 50 Cent is the only trustworthy news source. He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about this whole situation. Not much is known past the fact that Netflix will stream it. We know it will be primarily about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and one of the first and most public of the suits against the disgraced rapper. The doc will be an episodic series, and all proceeds will go towards victims of inappropriate violence. When 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since deleted Instagram post, he also claimed that if more victims keep coming out, he's gonna need more episodes, so there is potential that the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start.
Did Beyonce fake her pregnancy? When Beyonce was pregnant with daughter Blue Ivy Carter, so many rumors began spreading that she faked her pregnancy with a fake belly and had enlisted a surrogate to carry the child. A particular video, however, went insanely viral, like literally overnight. A video of Beyonce's high-definition interview with Australia's Sunday Night HD surfaced online. This interview would have been, on record as the most boring interview of all time had it not been for the one moment at the start of the sit-down when Beyonce took a seat and her bump, did something entirely different and kind of unnatural. So to explain, when she sits down, you can see her stomach like deflating and folding in on itself. The stills and slow-mos of the disappearing bump were circulated online as people questioned, what was happening? Now, was Beyonce wearing, different sized bellies to throw off the press as to how far along she was? Had she and Jay-Z, gone the surrogate route and her, deflating baby bump proved it? Or was it something else entirely that can or can't be so easily explained? Beyonce's publicist, Yvette Noel Schur, was quick with it. She shot down the conspiracy theories almost like immediately, telling E! News that, websites, blogs, and rumors suggesting that Jay-Z's wife is wearing a prosthetic or otherwise faking her baby bump are simply like foolish and outlandish. Beyonce addressed it literally only once, saying that was crazy. It wasn't even hurtful, it was just crazy. Where do they come up with this stuff? Meanwhile, her mother, Tina Knowles, took the talk like very personally. She went on to say, "I thought it was very unfair and very cruel that someone would think that someone would be that diabolical to keep up a charade like that for 9 months. As a mother, it was painful for me to hear the crazy rumors, and I even had people ask me, which was so ridiculous. The only thing they could say about why it looked like her belly folded is that it must have been the fabric." One critic online pointed out that Beyonce has been so secretive about her pregnancy and that the only footage of her actually being pregnant was super grainy and like not clear at all. Some fans, came to her defense saying that there was a pic of her on the beach, in a bikini, but honestly the photo of her in the bikini, if she was pregnant, looked like she would have been about like 4 months or less. So basically people were saying, the photo doesn't actually prove that she was actually pregnant. There were just so many conspiracy theories regarding why she might be lying. Many people thought she didn't want to like ruin her figure, by being pregnant. Some people suspected maybe she couldn't have children of her own, and some thought, her and Jay were maybe adopting. However, none of this truly mattered when her daughter was actually brought into the world. Blue Ivy was born at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, New York on January 7th, 2012. Her and Jay actually reportedly bought out the whole floor at the hospital in order to have privacy, even making people who, were already there leave. But that's another story for another time. All in all, this whole circus made Beyonce a lot more open with her second pregnancy when she had twins Rumi and Sir. Personally, I think she didn't want the same, accusations and theories to surface again, so she kind of just said, y'all ain't playing with me today. You want a bump? Here it is. Is Beyonce lying about her age? There have been several moments that have made people question whether or not Beyonce is lying about her age. Matthew Knowles, her father, continues to use his daughter's name as a means, to staying newsworthy. This time though, it's adding fuel to the fire or to the rumor mill that the superstar is actually lying about her age. In an interview with Power 105 95.1's The Breakfast Club, Knowles, her father, says that Pink, the singer, is the exact same age as Beyonce. Pink, however, is 45, and Beyonce is, according to her, 43. Beyonce's age has been, a source of speculation for years, complete with alleged birth certificate leaks and, celebrity sources. Gabrielle Union, who is 9 years older than Beyonce, has said they were friends when they were teenagers, and apparently they even went to high school together, but the math ain't mathing there. While the difference between Pink and Beyonce are only like a measly 2 years, by the time you're like closing down on 50, those years, apparently seem to matter. So, fudging the numbers early on makes it a little easier to simply stop at 43 and refuse to age any further. It's as if, as a performer, you were to reach 50, you'd stop being considered for parts or shows, which, let's be honest, that isn't actually true in today's day and age, because just look at Jennifer Lopez. Like, she's in her 50s, she's still performing, headlining, you know what I mean? Or the other worry I would imagine most women up in age would be concerned about would be whether you'd be vilified for like gallivanting in a leotard or like a bodysuit, like a one piece, whatever scandalous type of outfit you might have worn in your 20s. Basically, for being confident about your body. Taylor Swift does it, it's, girl power, but if Madonna does it, it's like supposed to be shameful, So at least that's how society wants us all to view it. Beyonce has lied many times about writing her own music. Beyonce has claimed to be, the creative vision and songwriter behind some of her most successful songs, and there was no room for argument, that she was one of the most talented singer-songwriters to be a part of the music industry, and still is. But when rumors began to swirl that there were holes in the stories Beyonce told about writing her music, fans were shocked. They wondered if Beyonce truly did write all the songs she claimed to, or if she was fabricating. Now, there have been several times when songwriters or celebrities have had negative things to say and called Beyonce out in the press for taking credit for being the creative force behind her songs that have become hits. This is not to say, that the Run the World singer does not put her own spin vocally on tracks to take them places other artists could not, all while having an insane work ethic, but taking full credit for something that there was clearly a collaboration on led fans to do some digging. And when they did, they found several times when Beyonce claimed to be the sole writer or had the inspiration for a song, when that was clearly false. One person on Reddit actually rounded up like a number of examples, which include Emotions, which is actually a Bee Gees cover, Survivor, with the actual songwriter sued and settled out of court, Bow Down, which was allegedly written for Rihanna, Bootylicious, the demo was apparently near complete when, it got to Destiny's Child, and one of Beyonce's biggest songs, Irreplaceable, which apparently was actually written by Neo. Now, what's funny about that one is that Beyonce went on to say, "I'm sure people think I wrote it about Jay-Z or something, but the obvious person is not the person at all." Several years later, though, Neo claimed to have penned the song himself. Had he not thought the song was too misogynistic, he explained he would have actually kept it for himself. He said, "That song taught me a very interesting lesson. Many women don't think that differently. However, a man singing it comes across a little mean." So, with many discrepancies coming up in interviews over the years when Beyonce has claimed to be the driving force behind many of her hits, it is easy to see why fans wonder how much Beyonce has written herself, what she has collaborated on, and what songs were just written for her. There's no denying the talent Beyonce has, and no one is discrediting, her vocal and performance abilities, but many fans and critics alike think that she should give all the credit, not just to herself. In fact, it's just a song that maybe she's collabed on with one person, online even saying, unless Beyonce specifically came up with an idea for a song or contributed vocals to it, she should call herself an artist instead. Another person chimed in and said, "For some reason, we have this idea that singers have to also write their own music to be considered artists, but telling a story with your voice and entertaining people with your performance is a whole other skill set. I think at the end of the day, just give credit where it's due to avoid these type of, controversies, or stay as low-key as possible and don't extend your part." Behind the dazzling smiles, sold-out tours, and meticulously crafted personas lies a marriage shrouded in mystery. Jay-Z and Beyonce have masterfully manipulated their public image, but beneath the facade of perfection, whispers of turmoil linger. And let it be known that there is so much history between Jay and Bey, so it would be almost impossible to discuss every red flag, but I want to start by digging into the hidden warnings overlooked by the masses that expose the complexities of their relationship. The truth is basically hidden in plain sight. So there have been so many subtle hints from Beyonce, like especially through her music and albums, that Jay-Z has cheated on her. In 2016, on Beyonce's Lemonade album, Beyonce seemingly confronts Jay-Z about his infidelity in her song Pray You Catch Me, where she says, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath." In her other song on the same album, Hold Up, she references a woman rocking her man's chain, implying Jay-Z's affair. And then there's also Sorry with the iconic Becky with the good hairline, which was widely interpreted as referencing Jay-Z's mistress. So that is like a lot of hints. And those are just 3 examples, but 2 other songs on the same album also hint at infidelity and lies. So maybe it's time to go re-listen to Lemonade and hear for yourself. Hey, like who knows? Maybe you'll find some that no one else has before. Now fast forward to Beyonce's 2022 album Renaissance. Beyonce confidently asserts, "I'm one of one, I'm number one, I'm the only one, don't even waste your time trying to compete with me." That sentence alone definitely makes you wonder, like, who's she talking to or about? A lot of fans solidified their suspicion that Jay-Z was unfaithful once he appeared on David Letterman's Netflix show, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. Jay-Z actually said, "I have a beautiful wife who is understanding and knew that I am not the worst of what I've done. And we did the hard work of going to therapy." So this begs the question, if Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, who did he cheat on her with? And there has actually been like a lot of theories, like Rita Ora, Rachel Roy, Gwyneth Paltrow, but they've all denied meddling in the rapper's marriage. Now, rewind to an interview Jay-Z did with the New York Times in 2017, Jay-Z acknowledged infidelity, stating he was in denial about it, and also in 2018 on the Ellen DeGeneres show, he emphasized learning from his mistakes. Nevertheless, some fans have praised his admission, saying it has highlighted growth, accountability, and efforts to repair his marriage with Beyonce. But as you can imagine, you know, the Bayhive, like to this day, are having none of it, and so they're like ready to ride at dawn. This may not be a red flag to you, but to me it is. And they say love is love, but age gaps between couples are like simply hard to ignore. Jay-Z is 12 years older than Beyonce. And while someone who is like 40 dating a 52-year-old seems perfectly fine, a 19-year-old dating a 31-year-old, I don't know, that just doesn't sit right in my spirit. However, age is but a number in their case, as it didn't stop them from beginning their love story. Like the icky part for me though is that Jay-Z had eyes for Beyonce when she was just 18 years old. And like, let's be so for real, it probably started way younger than that. So the two first actually crossed paths at an MTV spring break event. The rapper later released a track about their first meeting titled Everything Is Love. In the song, he raps, "We played it cool at the pool of the Cancun. VMA confidence, you exude, make the fools stay away. Me, I played my room, let the fools have they say. Fate had me sitting next to you on the plane." And I knew straight away. Despite Jay-Z going so hard, Beyonce actually admitted that she didn't believe people love the same things at 20 as they do when they're 30, which is why despite starting to date at 19 and Jay like wanting to wife her right away, she actually did not tie the knot with him until she was 26. Now, a lot of fans over the years have even said they feel sad for her because they feel like Beyonce went from dealing with an overbearing father to dating a man who is also older and overbearing. Many fans saying she's only with Jay still because it's literally like all she knows, having been with him since she was a teenager. One fan even said Jay-Z never deserved her, and if she had the time to live her life and develop her prefrontal cortex, she would have never chosen him, and I bet he, being Jay, knows that. Now, some fans wish she had like a clumsy dating experience in the early 2000s where she could have like ventured into relationships with celebrities such as like Nelly, Justin Timberlake, or even Usher. Like imagine a world in which Beyonce and Usher are together and dominating the music industry right now. Like I can kind of see it, can you? I simply can't talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce red flags without mentioning the most famous one of all. Yes, you guessed it, the Solange and Jay-Z elevator incident. If Jay-Z really had like 99 problems, Solange might have just been the biggest one, okay? So it was like the elevator fight seen around the world. Following the 2014 Met Gala, like obtained video footage showed Beyonce, her sister Solange, and Jay-Z getting into an elevator together. A huge fight ensued shortly after, and with surveillance footage showing Solange literally lunging at the rapper and hitting him multiple times before being physically restrained by security. Beyonce actually didn't appear to make much of an effort to intervene at all, and honestly, she just stood there watching. I would have loved to be a fly on that elevator wall that moment. Listen, the video was about like 3 minutes long, and the hotel security was so mad it got leaked, but like whoever leaked it probably got the biggest bag from doing so, like allegedly $250K. So the only thing that could have made that bag even bigger would have been like some audio to go along with it. Needless to say, the employee got fired immediately, but I bet he wasn't even mad. And the trio then released a joint statement simply saying, "We've worked through it," and both parties actually did decline to press charges. Now, although not much has come out recently that would give more details on what exactly happened in the elevator that night, Jay-Z shortly after the incident did say in an interview that this incident with Solange was like a one-time thing. They had one disagreement ever, and before and after, that's it. They've been cool. He then went on to say Solange is like his sister. He'll always protect her. And quote unquote, he said, "It ain't nothing." Solange made a tweet on May 14, 2014, which was one day before their joint statement that read, "I love my sister and I love my brother." Beyonce, however, and in typical fashion, remained completely silent the whole time. No public statement, no tweets, nothing. Of course, there are so many theories on what caused this altercation, and a few speculated reasons consist of Jay-Z's business dealings, because allegedly there was a disagreement over Roc Nation's involvement with Solange's music. But the most common theme of speculation is, of course, geared towards personal issues Bey and Jay were having, like the lies and infidelity. Now, one of the funnier theories is that Jay-Z apparently had spoiled the Game of Thrones ending, for which caused the attack. But considering the pair's silence on the disappointing series finale, it seems now that they might not even watch the show. Another wild theory is that Solange is just a nasty drunk, but that has been debunked because it would be proven later that she wasn't intoxicated at all.